Hello, hello. What's up, entrepreneurs? It's Jane Hamill, and today I have a special guest from the island of Puerto Rico. Tommie, how are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for the invitation, Jane.
You
Excited
guys.
to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you here. This is something I wish I had thought of doing a lot sooner. I'm super glad that you're available. You have so much knowledge to drop on us today. I think you are one of the most fascinating women I have ever not met. I mean, met, but not met. And I can't wait to hear your story, to hear your take on what fashion designers today should and shouldn't maybe be doing. We're going to talk about themes of like being a multi-passionate entrepreneur. We're going to talk about the juxtaposition of being a highly creative person and also having to run a daily business, the grind of that type of thing. And then I'm going to ask you about your biggest regret at the end of the show. So tell everybody in a couple sentences, Tommie Hernández, ladies and gentlemen, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tommie Hernández. I'm a Puerto Rican fashion designer. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I love what I do because I don't only design clothes, but I also help people learn how to sew, how to design, and how to launch their businesses.
Yeah, this fascinates me. So I was looking at your certification. Anyway, let's get into it all. So back when you were first starting, I know you went to FIT in New York. You're from Puerto Rico, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Born and
So
raised.
were you always interested? Did you sew as a kid? You were sewing for Barbies and stuff? Or I think it was your grandma. You sewed with your grandma?
No, I started sewing when I was 8 years old. My dad enrolled me the summer of 1982. He enrolled me in sewing lessons so I wouldn't get bored, active kids. And it was just magic. It just changed my life, not because of my career, but also because I enjoyed the fact that I could take a piece of fabric and play around with it and not only cover my body, but also show my style, my personality, because we all wear clothing, but each and every one selects a different garment because they want to reflect themselves on it.
Yeah, even if we don't know we're doing that, that is what we're doing.
Exactly.
I like the story too when you said your dad enrolled you in classes and you went with a friend and the friend was like, "Oh my God, this is so boring." And
Exactly.
but you loved
They
it.
hated it. The classmates hated it. And I was just so fascinated. I was a weird one, and kids would make fun of me because they said grandmas are the ones that should be sewing. You're a teenager or you're 8 years old or whatever. But those people were my first customers because in high school I was already making garments for some of them.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We really have, honestly, we have like parallel lives. It's
I
like we're the
know.
same person.
Told you.
It's so crazy. Okay. So you decide you want to do fashion as a career, correct? Or no? How did you
Before that,
end up?
I thought architecture was my thing because at the moment in Puerto Rico there were no fashion schools.
Yeah.
So I finished a bachelor's in architecture, even though when I was finishing it, it was not what I really wanted. I wanted to be a designer. So I decided to finish it and then I moved to New York to FIT.
And how your family situation, were they like, yeah, dude, pursue your dream? Like, how'd that go over?
Well, I mean, after you've been supporting your child to become an architect for 4 years, and I mean, but they understood.
They
In
did.
the beginning, it was shocking, but they supported me. They were, why are you doing this? But they supported me, and I'm grateful for both my mom and my dad because they always showed me that I could be whatever I wanted, and that's part of what I always thank them for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I want to go to fashion school or I want to be a fashion designer is not usually the words that parents are were hoping to hear
No,
back in the day. Yeah.
because and even nowadays,
Yeah.
I teach at the university at School of Fine Arts in Old San Juan, and most of the kids that are enrolled there, their parents are just asking them to do something else, not to become designers or painters or artists, because they
Yeah.
think they're gonna end up without any money. So that's why the entrepreneurship part is so important.
Yes. Okay. So walk me through that. So you go to FIT. I know you designed, and are you still doing your swimwear line?
I do, but I do not launch collections like I used to. I used to sell them to stores like JCPenney and boutiques throughout Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Right now, I just do small collections and I only sell online in my website.
Okay. So walk me through that. So you went to FIT, you learned some skills, and then what?
I come back to Puerto Rico and started a business without having a clue of what I was doing, just like you, Jane. In
I was 25. How old were you?
I was 26.
Okay. Yep.
I was 26.
Yep.
But I think part of being young, the fact of being naive, it's what helps you do things.
Yeah.
Because when you grow older, you are more afraid and you've seen so many things go wrong that you don't want to try them. But at 26, I was like, well, what can I lose? So I started my business. No social media yet. I would fax my orders to Spandex House. Not much email, just dial up internet. And
Spandex House in LA?
A Spandex House in New York.
Okay, Spandex. Yeah.
I know all my suppliers,
Yeah.
So I rent this space in a second story, no window. And somehow people started learning that I was there. I guess on the front of my store, there was this lady that had a business where she taught after school classes.
Yeah.
And their students started knocking on my door.
Got it.
And in the beginning, I wanted to do evening wear, wedding dresses. That's what I started doing. And part of knowing your customer is understanding when they want something different. And if you want to give them that different thing, they started asking for swimsuits. And I was like, I've never done swimwear. But things had changed. And in my town, in the West Coast, in Mayagüez,
yeah,
people were not looking to dress as much as we did in high school. And they would just wear casual sportswear and swimsuits because we have lots of beautiful beaches in Puerto Rico. So I started doing swimsuits, and after like 2 years, 90% of what we were making were custom-made swimsuits.
Okay, got it.
So I found my niche.
And was that profitable? Like, if they're younger people, were they able to pay what you needed? Did you understand margins? Tell me about that.
I did not understand margins, but in the beginning, I did not, like all fashion designers. But then I started figuring things out. I hired a few seamstresses. I was able to calculate how much time would that take. And we would make tons and tons of swimsuits, custom-made swimsuits. We had a high season since from April to July. That was our highest season. And I noticed that some people wanted to just buy a swimsuit, not have it custom made. And that's when I started looking for a space on a first floor. I was able to rent it from the same person on the first floor, and it had windows, and I could put my mannequins and my dress forms, and people would come in. I would get walk-ins. But even though before I moved to the first floor, we were packed, we had lots and lots of work. People did not buy online at that moment.
Yeah.
We didn't have the brands, cheaper brands that you could buy right now. And people were willing to pay for a custom-made swimsuit. And they still want to, if it's something custom, if it's something made to order where you can choose the colors and you can pick the style, you can give the person all of that.
Okay. And so do you still enjoy doing the custom swimsuits? I mean, is it like,
I
I do
used
it,
to
it's
do it
fine, or you like still love it?
until 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I moved to the metropolitan area
Yeah.
because I needed, my husband got a job in that area. And after a year, he told me, you should do something different. And I had been thinking about it. After all those years making custom swimsuits, I kind of got tired of it.
Mhm.
I needed a change, and I thought of a way where I could scale more, because people wanted you to take the measurements. People wanted you to do the fittings,
Mm.
to do the drawings. And even though I had employees, I was always packed. I was always too much work, and it was too stressful for me.
Yeah.
And I thought it was time for a change, but I did not know what to do with all the knowledge and all those years experience, 17 years.
So let me ask you a question. Looking back now, when you have a business where they all want me, like I have these employees, but they're all like, but where's Tommie? Do you think you could have, I'm not saying you should have, do you think it would have been possible upon reflection to change the expectations of those customers and switch it to you're the figurehead, but those people do the work? Or do you think like the business was only going to work if I was killing myself?
Well, as I see now, I would do things differently.
Yeah.
I would, duh. I would after you screw up, it's easier to know what you should have done. I would definitely do what you just said. I would present myself as a figure and maybe do the first fitting, but the
Yeah.
rest of the fittings someone else would do them, or just have a different system that I did not have, because as I told you, I was just passionate about what I was doing, but I was not well aware of what to do to make it profitable fast.
Mhm. Yes, 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 yes. And I know when I started a business when I was 25, and I really thought lots of times this is how the business is. Like, that's just how it is. Not that I had control over how it was, not that like the people are like this because I've trained them to be like this. The customers are like this because that's what I've told them they can do. And if I'm trying not to, they don't get it.
Educate them and establish boundaries, which is what I tell my students now.
Yeah. So
to try to help them not make the same mistakes I made.
Yeah. So question for you. You and I both had retail stores, because back then you either sold wholesale or you sold retail. If you were one of your students today, I know this is a ridiculous question, but if you were, okay, I'm from Puerto Rico, I love swimsuits, I'm from this beach town, I just got out of FIT, what kind of business would you start now?
It would definitely not be a brick and mortar store.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to do something custom, but online, or maybe going in person one day at a week to a certain high-end boutique.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, customers.
Yes.
Try to get those people, or do some trunk shows at a specific high-end store, instead of having people come to my store at the times that they want it. Because right now I don't have a fixed time to open or close my shop.
Yeah.
If we don't want to come Friday, I tell the girls we're not coming Friday, let's go to the beach, whatever. And I don't have to leave someone here to open the store, to close the store. And that is a big constraint.
Yes. Oh my God. But so let's pretend you are now 23-year-old Tommie, you graduate, you come back. Would you do a physical product? Would you do swimsuits again?
I think
today
I would do a physical product, because coming from training and in fashion, that would be my first choice.
Yeah.
But what I've been able to do with my business is to transform all that knowledge into multiple streams of income in a way that it's more scalable, and people from all over the world can get my product.
Okay, I love this so much. And I know also that reinventing ourselves. I sold my store when I was 40. When did you move to San Juan? When you changed your business model? Or,
7 years ago. I'm
okay.
49 when I
Okay.
was 42.
Got it. Okay. So tell us about that, because changing or starting or reinventing your business at 42 is a lot different than at 26.
Yes, we have a lot more experience, but we cannot risk things as we would in the beginning when you're younger. For
Facts.
me, I'm very, very grateful for you and other people in the ecosystem like Pat Flynn and Amy Porterfield, because you did not know it, but you were one of my mentors. And I think that you are one of my mentors, finding someone to be finding a mentor, even if it's someone online through podcasts, videos, education, is very important.
Yeah.
And I came to San Juan without knowing what I was going to do.
Right.
And all these podcasts and the online marketing gave me the hope that I was going to be able to do something with my knowledge. And that's why I started with these sewing patterns in a niche also, which was my expertise, swimsuit.
So tell us, okay, so you're like, okay, and how old was your son? Because you have a son, right?
Yes, Alexander.
How old was he then?
He was 8.
Okay, yeah, dude, busy.
Yes.
You moved to a new city, you're like, I'm gonna do something different, but I don't know what yet. How did you
And I
get
could
started?
not do something full time because I didn't have any relatives in the West Coast. I had my mom, and when my dad was alive, he would help me a lot, pick up the kid and take him to karate lessons or whatever.
Yeah.
Right here, we were all by ourselves.
Yeah.
So it was more difficult to build something full time.
It's very different, especially like I know for me, my husband's job was really inflexible. So it wasn't like he could just, he's a lawyer or whatever, but he couldn't just leave court to go like do something.
Exactly.
So it kind of had to be me. For a while we had a nanny, but for a while, you're just, that's the job, right? Okay.
I needed the flexibility, but I was eager to do something, because when you're passionate about what you like, and when you have all this energy and need to do something, for me, staying at home doing nothing was not an option, even if the money factor was not an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not everybody is built for that, and that's cool. Okay, so how did you decide to go, not how did you decide, but how'd you build that up? How'd you get an audience? I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was at FIT,
starting from
we
scratch.
didn't take computer classes. We were supposed to take computer pattern making. I had to take a computer class. It was computer pattern making. That's the only class I took, right? So like all of this selling online and having online businesses is different for us. So yeah, what was your process?
Well, I ask a lot of questions. I looked many things on the internet. Unfortunately, my husband works in IT, so he's able to figure all that tech stuff easier. But for example, in the beginning, he built my first website, which is where I sold the swimsuits. But then the second one, I built it on Squarespace myself and had it until 6 months ago. So it was starting over, because I was pretty well known in the fashion industry, fashion shows. I used to go to TV to talk about trends and swimsuits and all of that. But in this other niche, in the pattern making, I was the new girl.
Yeah.
In terms of PDF patterns. So I made my first pattern with a lot of work, spent over 6 months. I built an MVP, Google Doc with the instructions. I took horrible pictures myself. I wish you could see that. And
I love every second of this. So you guys, I know an MVP is minimum viable product. Go ahead. Can you explain that to them? What do you mean by MVP?
Yes, I start what you have and don't wait till you know everything.
Yeah.
To do something. And that's what I did. And I gave it for free. That was my way. I started blogging, using keywords, And at a moment, we were on the first page on Google organically. If you would look for free PDF bikini pattern or free bikini top pattern, we were there. And that gave me lots of traffic to my website. And I thought, well, over 1,000 people have downloaded the freebie.
Yes.
So I think it's time to build a pattern and sell it. And I created 2 patterns, and the third pattern, which is one of our best sellers, was launched the day before Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, because I knew, something told me that things were going to get ugly. And I pushed the launch. And after that, I don't know if you know, but we were months without electricity, without water, and people did not spend on sewing patterns if you don't have water or electricity, and you have to stay in line for 3 hours to buy gas for your car. And I was able to confirm that I could keep earning an income even if the place where I was living was in trouble.
Oh my God.
So the pattern kept selling. We currently sell to 50 countries in digital. And that was a confirmation that I needed to keep going on this business.
So many things. So many things, that hurricane and the trauma, all of it. I can't even imagine, actually. I really can't. I'll tell you that all of Chicago was sporting Puerto Rican flags.
I know, and I really appreciate, because we felt loved. We felt that we were not alone.
Yeah.
And after a few months, when I saw tourists come to the island, I would go to them. Thank you for coming.
Oh.
Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for spending your money here, because you're helping the economy. So I'm pretty grateful for that.
What a freaking nightmare. So, what tools, tech tools, platforms did you use for the Sirena Patterns? Is it called Sirena Patterns? I don't want to screw up the name.
Sirena, but Sirena in Spanish, it means
Sirena, sorry.
But
Sirena in the Midwest.
Exactly, because in English you would say siren.
Yeah.
Siren with an A.
Sirena. Okay. So what platform do you use? What's the tech stack for this business you got going on?
Well, it was not very complicated. It's more complicated now.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I just built a website in Squarespace, because my previous website was built there, and I was able to manage it. I know Shopify is the thing right now, but it was what I knew.
Yeah.
I think Shopify was not around at the moment, or was not as big as it is right now.
Yeah.
So I started with what I had, and I opened a free MailChimp account.
Got it.
Because I could use it for free until I had 2,000 subscribers. Right now we have more than 40,000. But at the moment it was free. And
tell me,
what else?
So, and how did you get them the patterns? Was it what was when you first started and you're like, okay, I'm not building up this whole thing, let's see if it works. How did you deliver the PDF download to them?
In Squarespace, you could just upload a digital and just buy a digital product.
Okay.
But I had to figure all that out. I would Google how to add digital products to Squarespace.
Right.
And I think MailChimp and Squarespace were those first 2 tools. And I used to blog a lot. Now we do more videos, but at the moment, just taking pictures and just establishing that contact with the public, because people think that if you build it, they will come. But I was well aware that it was not going to be like that. And since I was the new one, I needed to over deliver. So people would be excited about my product and pick mine over others.
And why do they pick yours over others?
I think the fact that I was able to explain things clearly. in English and in Spanish. Of course, Spanish is my first language, but I was able I grew up with McCall's and Simplicity patterns. And I thought, what can I do better than what they usually do?
Yeah.
And I was trying to improve that. And I think the way you write down instructions and the type of images that you choose to explain are very important. Right
Yes.
now, we have students that test the patterns and tell me that image is not clear, or these instructions are confusing, or you might also want to add certain step before that. But at the moment, we didn't, but I did everything myself. I mean, at the moment I did everything myself, but I made it clear that people could do it, that the instructions were clear, and blogging about tips and tricks about how to make swimsuits, different techniques, how to do it with a regular sewing machine, and how to do it with special equipment, because not everyone is willing to spend $1,000 in a cover stitch and they want to do a swimsuit from beginning to end.
Yeah, fascinating. And so what do you use now to sell and deliver and use email? What do you still use Squarespace? What are you doing?
We launched a membership site 2 years ago, exactly 2 years ago.
Yes.
I remember that. 2 years ago, we launched a membership site, and now with the subscription, people get 1 credit that they can exchange for a pattern of their preference. So that has helped us build a system where every single month, we launch new patterns. And we now not only have kids, we not only have swimsuits, but we have all sorts of garments. And
I saw that.
We use WordPress.
Okay.
It's a more robust site. It's more complicated. It's something we use because we have all the customization of a membership site with a store.
Okay. Do you use because I used to do membership sites via WordPress. Do you use one of the did you buy a plugin kind of thing?
We use WooCommerce for the store, and we use what's the word for the membership site? MemberPress.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, got it. And then tell me this. So it's Sirena VIP, right? Is that the membership?
Sirena Elite.
Oh, Elite. I'm sorry. Elite. I'm going to say Sirena Elite. Is that how you say it? Okay. And how much is the membership?
The membership is $20 a month, but we offer not only a pattern, we offer at least 1 video tutorial, which is usually a sew along of the pattern. Right now we have over 45 tutorials, so you have access to everything. It's all in Spanish, though the website is bilingual, but the actual membership area is in Spanish and the tutorials are in Spanish. But people can go to the website. Everything is in 2 languages, and they can shop the patterns at the website, and everything you just change the language and you can have.
Oh, that's amazing. And where do most of your members come from in the world?
Puerto Rico and United States. Okay. The membership site is more local. We even do in-person events. We did a Christmas party, and we went shopping for fabrics, and we did more local things. But still, we have members that are in the United States, mostly in the United States and Puerto Rico.
And tell me about your teaching. So I saw something about a certification that you're doing. Is that in your business? Is that with the university? Tell me what you're up to otherwise.
I'm a teacher at Escuela de Artes Plásticas, which is School of Fine Arts. There I have taught fashion design, introduction to fashion design 2, textiles, pattern making, draping. I created an elective in lingerie and swimsuits. Yep. And I teach fashion marketing and product marketing. So that's what I do as a teacher at the university. But I also have the membership site and the Online Fashion Academy. In the Online
Yes.
Fashion Academy, I have courses from basic sewing, like the real basic sewing, but we also have pattern making, fashion illustration for people who are not looking to enroll and do a bachelor's in fashion design, but they do want to learn everything about fashion. And our certifications, we have one in pattern making and design, swimsuit design, and we have one in clothing for knits.
Mm-hmm.
There they learn from making the slopers in standard sizes or custom sizes for knits, which is different from making a pattern or a sloper in regular woven fabrics.
Yeah.
And they learn fashion design. They learn how to make a pattern transformation. We use a half scale to make transformation. And then we finish the graduation with a fashion show. And people can do that online, no matter where they are. We've had students from Texas, Virginia, different areas in the United States. They just ship the clothing. We do a casting.
Yeah.
For model casting.
I saw the pictures. It's, you guys, you got to go to the site and check it out. Like Tommie just is so much fun, and her images is great. Is it Sirena? What is the website exactly?
Sirena. Sirena.
Sirena.com.
Or siren with an A.
Sirena to you and me, people.
You can say Sirena Patterns or SirenaElite.com.
Okay, so it's sirenapatterns.com or sirena.com.
It will redirect you to the WordPress site.
So okay, got it. So you're good either way.
Yeah.
And tell me about, of all the things that you do, you're busy. It's a lot. No, one does not have to do all this, right? Which is the one that makes you the money, or like, can you tell us about which one is like, well, my biggest stream of income right now is this? Is that something you could share?
Yes, of course. The patterns on the membership site.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, I said the pattern, the online courses and the membership sites. But the patterns is what gets me known. The pattern is what, it's a low entry barrier. You pay $14, $15 for a PDF pattern. You like it, you see the fit, you like the way the instructions are clear, and then you say, well, I want to keep learning with this specific person.
Yeah. So it's sort of the entry level.
Yes, it's a funnel. People can afford a $15, $20 pattern, but then others join the less expensive courses, and some of those people also enroll in the certifications, which are longer period, very more robust, more content programs. And that is what I'm proud of. You know, I don't just sell courses. I just sell a product that I know that can change people's lives. And I'm pretty sure of what I sell. Sometimes it's difficult to sell something that you don't like when you have someone selling a product at a store because they have to. But when you know the quality of your product, it's easier for you to explain the characteristics and what they're getting.
Do you have moments now where, because I can recall days like when I had my retail store, when I would show up at my boutique and I'd be like, why in the actual would anybody shop here when you could just go to Banana Republic and get that, you know? And then there would be days I'd look at it and be like, this is the best product on the planet. Like, every person in Chicago should be shopping here. And I would really believe, what is the point of this business? And then 2 days later, I think it was the fucking bomb, you know? I don't have quite the ups and downs I used to then.
I can totally relate, because it happened a lot with my store. But what we're doing now is so different.
Yeah.
And we are the only indie sewing pattern company in Puerto Rico. So it's good and it's bad. It's bad because you don't have someone to look up to or go locally and ask for advice. To
Yes.
figure things out, just like what happened to me when I started making swimsuits. There was no YouTube, there were no online courses, so I had to figure things out on my own. And now with the patterns, we also do printed patterns, and we sell to Mood Fabrics, we sell in the UK to Minerva Crafts, to So Hard UK in the UK, and to many stores in Puerto Rico. And we had to figure out what is the distribution like, where to print them. And I think it's part of the adventure. It's might be stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you had everything given to you, like this is what you have to do, and it's gonna come out everything perfect, I mean, life would not be as interesting as it is right now.
That is true. And I had a virtual assistant who set up my whole website. She was just really brilliant. And I remember her saying to me, Jane, if I gave my clients everything on a gold platter, exactly what to do, and the key to success, they still wouldn't do it. They would still need trial and error and questions. And it was just like, just knowing what to do is not that useful.
No, it doesn't guarantee you success.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination, not just being passionate, but also having an entrepreneurial mindset. It's how you can blend those two things, the creative and the passionate with the more analytic. Is this going to make me money or not? Should I say yes to this or not?
Okay, tell me about that. So the curse of the highly creative person is also the greatest thing, right? So are there examples you can think of, specific things maybe that happened over the years or yesterday, where you're like, oh, the creative person took over and fucked that up, excuse my expression, or like the juxtaposition of being so creative and running a business that's really a business? Has that been a struggle for you, in what ways?
Yes, because sometimes as a designer, when you have a fashion show, you want to make all these beautiful things.
Yeah.
And they're so complicated to make, and you spent so many hours in this garment. And then when you're going to sell it, if you were to factor in the actual cost, there was no way no one would buy it because it would be too expensive. So I think the years have helped me identify that a bit more. And sometimes as a designer, you need a statement piece. Mm-hmm. Use it as marketing, just for marketing, and no one's going to buy it, but they're going to talk about it, and they're going to take pictures, and it might go viral. But in real life, you cannot work like that. You need to know if something is going to, if a product is going to be cost effective or not.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Do you have students or people that you work with recently who have done, because I'm not a fan of creating pieces for marketing or I'm not a fan of fashion shows. I am super practical and it's a different, I'm not saying that's bad for everybody, but usually it's a waste of money for a lot of people. Do you have examples of someone who's really like put it all into that and used a statement piece and got business off it in the back end? Like ultimately it's truly helped their bottom line?
Well, I don't have an actual example, but I do have a student. She is so talented, but I told her a few months ago, you need to simplify stuff, because she's making beautiful swimsuits, but they have so many intricate pieces. Mm-hmm. That when she factors in all the time spent and all the, not just the final pattern, but all the samples she had to do to make one single garment, it's not going to make her money. So it's not, because she was like, oh, but everything is too expensive. And I was like, no, you're just spending too much time in one single piece.
Yes.
And in a factory, if you spend days or months in one pattern, and then you make 80,000 of that pattern, like Sarah would do, or any Macy's would do,
Yeah.
they can get money on that, because when you divide it by how many units did you make and sold, the actual cost of the pattern is a lot less. But if it's just one single piece you're making and you're spending so much time in that specific pattern, you're not going to make money from it.
And do they receive that information in general, or how do you, like, is that something you have to learn by screwing it up? Or do you think that people will believe you when they hear this?
In my case, I'm very straightforward to my students, and I think they believe me, they trust me.
Yeah.
Or because they see the way I teach, and they know that I'm genuine, and
Yeah.
that I really want to help them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's their decision, not mine. I just tell them what I think they should do.
Yes. And so if there's a designer listening right now who's like, God, I would love to do patterns, or I'm interested in online, downloadable PDFs or whatever, what advice would you give? Like, what, if you're thinking to do both, like maybe still design, but also do this, what you got? Like, think hard about that, or what would you say?
It's doable, and it's important that you have to be able to share your knowledge, because many designers don't do patterns because they don't want anyone to know how they did it. It's like a big secret. It's a big secret. And you're not reinventing the wheel here. So I think the fact that if you give information, you don't have to give everything, but if you give them some information, they're going to start to know that you're that you know what you're doing, and they're going to start to trust you. And when we talk about selling physical products, they have to get their numbers right, and they have to, they cannot do it all themselves. In the beginning, you might try to make everything, but my business was able to grow when I hired employees. My sewing pattern company, I did everything myself, and I would spend 6 to 8 months in one pattern. Now I have people that help me. I have a team, and spending money on good employees, it's an investment.
Yes.
It's not an expense. It's an investment.
Yeah. This is a very big mindset shift for a lot of people. Yeah.
And for me, it was very difficult because I had finished with a business, and I thought I was never going to hire employees again. After closing my boutique, I was like, no employees. I'm going to do everything myself.
Yeah.
But then
it does sound kind of relaxing at first, right? Because then you're like,
but in the beginning, it sounds great. But if you want to keep growing, it's impossible.
Yeah. And how do you want your business to grow with all the different things you have going on? Where do you think would be the place are you just going to be like, I love doing it all, I'm going to keep doing it all? Is there something you're leaning into more in the next year or two?
For me, the online courses is what helps me change lives in a bigger way.
Okay.
And I'm thinking of doing a hybrid cohort where some people might get office hours, more in person, or via Zoom office hours, so they can ask questions and not just watch the videos.
Yes.
Give them a little bit more so they can feel that they're in a group, because with our certifications, they're going to graduate this October, and we had a meeting and they started talking to each other. Where are you from? And where do you buy fabrics? And like when you're in school and you have friends that like the same things. And I think the fact that the students can be around each other in live, not in person, but live, just like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's a way of shifting, but still giving online courses and making them available. Like right now, we sell to over 20 countries, the online courses.
So will you lean into the certifications more of a deeper level? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Exactly. So they get you or a mentor more.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm leaning into.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I love it. Are there things you've done in your business that you say, oh, I regret that? Kind of wish I hadn't done that.
Yes, yes, yes. In the beginning, I would say yes to everything.
In the beginning of the swimwear business.
The swimwear business.
Okay.
I have learned, I have, I have learned by having those moments. And in the beginning, people will come, can you fix this swimsuit? Can you hem this pant? And those were things I did not want to do.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I would say yes to everything because I thought I was not going to be able to afford the rent, and people get used to that. And I
Yes.
think that the fact that we need to educate the client is very important. Then after a while, I started to send them, oh, you should go to this person that just does alterations. We do not do alterations. Oh, but why don't you know? I don't. Go to this other person. I can refer you to this other person that can make the alterations for you, but we do designs from scratch. If you want a swimsuit from scratch, you can tell me the colors and we can work out a design. I can design it for you.
Yeah.
But we don't do alterations. Stuff like that,
This is really hard. Once you've set an expectation, then go back and say, no, it's totally doable, but I feel this pain.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what I tell my students in the beginning. If it's something you want to do, it's fine. But if you don't want to do that, just make sure that from the beginning, you tell the client that comes to you that is something you just don't do.
And how do you get the courage and the belief to know I can still make rent if I say no to this, like, money?
People get creative when you're having difficult times. Let's look at the pandemic. I mean, how many people didn't just start businesses because they needed to pay the rent? So I think it's important that you don't do everything just because of money.
But what if you have no money? How do you balance that? Like, do you focus on, hey, make a plan of what you will do to get money and just stick with that? Or get a side job? Like, is there a way to help avoid the, like, I got to do it or I'm going to be homeless by the river?
Get a side job in the meantime.
Yeah.
And make a goal, write your goals. I'm going to make $5,000 this month or $2,000 this month, and figure things out, reverse engineer it. If I need to make that amount, how many swimsuits I need to sell, and how can I sell? How can I get clients? Not just by posting on social, because that's not the only way to get clients. Connections are important.
I mean, if we listen to exactly what you said, you built a funnel basically for this new business. You put up a freebie, which was download this pattern. You got 1,000 people on your list. How have you gotten your list from 1,000 people to 40,000?
Because we run webinars. When you run a webinar, you get new leads, and those new leads, you give a freebie and the different freebie related to that specific webinar. And you attract people that might be interested in your course, a specific course like you do.
Yeah. So webinars is still strong for you to get new leads.
Well, not as they were during the pandemic, but we still do. Yes, we still do webinars, and we also do in-person. We're doing in-person workshops where we teach part of what, for example, the certification can give you, and people that when we offer those courses in person, and that has proven it's less scalable, but that has proven to be very effective because people are seeing you teach.
Yes.
So they get a taste of how you teach, because I think that if you don't like the voice or the way the teacher talks to you, you're not going to like the courses. But if you like how I teach and you're okay with my voice, I listen to podcasts, but if if the voice is annoying to me, I cannot listen.
Yes, this is so on
I'm
point.
sorry, but
It's just human nature. There's a guy that
yeah.
I joined his $2,000 program, and his voice was annoying to me, but I thought, oh, in the program, he probably calms down and just like talks normal. I did. I literally said that to myself, like, no one can be that animated all the time. Well, I was wrong. I could barely get through it. I couldn't get over it. You know, I mean, I tried and it's fine, but like, yeah, they have to try you out to see if it's right. And for people who are just starting a clothing line or they have a clothing line right now, what are you seeing that's working for them to get customers? I guess particularly online. Are there things that you'd say like this is popping right now for getting online sales?
Well, definitely it's not build it and they will come. Because if you, oh, I'm going to build a website. Oh, the website is up, and you start looking, refreshing your emails to see if you're getting sales, that's not going to happen. So definitely just being present, not just social media, events, connections, networking, that can definitely help you get known. I am, in my case, I got a lot of press in the beginning just by cold calling the fashion editors and the magazines and the newspapers. And I think that is something that this generation is not used to. You're not used to just random call and say, I am Tommie Hernández, I make swimsuits. Can I show you my swimsuits to see if you can feature me in your newspaper? I would do that.
They don't want to call. There was a recent survey of a huge incoming class of freshmen. I forget what college, like Harvard or something, like a real, I don't even know. And they said, what is the thing that you're most worried about doing? Or what scares you? Talking on the phone.
Sounds like my son.
They don't even know how to do it.
Why didn't you text me?
Yeah. No, they don't. I mean,
because I'm your mom.
My son is getting a job at the airport and they keep calling him and I hear him on the phone. He's 16. I'm like, oh, honey, we have to talk. I mean, he's like, yeah. Okay. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Picking up the phone.
And what's the worst thing that can happen? I have horror stories of my first visits to stores with my samples.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so devastated when a surf shop told me that my stitching was not the right one and that the cut, the bottom of the swimsuit cut was not the correct one. And you know what? They were right. So that was the best feedback that I could have gotten. I went to my car, started crying, and then I said, you know, this lady owns this very prestigious surf shops. She didn't buy my product, but she gave me that advice. And I think she's right. So I redid all the patterns. I'm talking 20 something years ago. I redid all the patterns. And then my swimsuit started selling. So I owe her that. Even though I felt humiliated at the moment, I think that listening to feedback from people that know more than you do is a very good tip.
Yeah. It's painful. It is. I'm not going to sugarcoat that in any other way, you guys. Like, it hurts, you know?
And keep learning, because what we were taught at FIT 20 something years ago was good, but now we have many other things. There's 3D fashion design. There are many other programs, and there's Procreate, and there's so many other things you can do that if you get stuck in 1999, you're not going to make it. So you have to keep learning.
Yeah, I think it's tough for those of us who've been to like a classical, whatever, like a traditional fashion school.
Hand drawing, watercolors.
Yeah, they're a little behind maybe. I don't know for sure, but is there, if somebody wants to build an audience online, in-person events, get a network, you have, it sounds like you've had great mentors over the years. Is there anything else that you'd say, like, well, I'm seeing it work on TikTok, or don't spend so much time on social media? Is there anything that you see there from a marketing standpoint?
I think social media is necessary. And I think doing video is what it is. Fortunately, That is the best way to get to people. And if you're afraid of, you are the first person I saw making live videos like 8 years ago,
Yeah.
7 or 8 years ago. And I thought, wow, she's so brave. And I'm doing this. And a few years ago, I started like 4 years ago. And in the pandemic, I did Facebook Lives twice a week teaching. And that was the biggest way to build an audience or to grow my audience. So definitely social media and connections and knocking doors. Don't be afraid to make a call or to visit a store. Just show up there.
Yeah. I think it does come down to just being willing to be humiliated for a little while.
Yes.
It's really hard. I mean, I don't think there's any other way to say, like,
yes,
you're going to feel stupid.
And you're going to get lots of no's.
Yeah.
No. But it is very possible that then after that, they will call you and tell them, I want your product in my store.
Yeah. That's a good feeling. Am I missing anything that I wanted to get? I asked you about your regrets. I asked about your advice to new people. Is there anything else you want to drop on us?
No, I just want to thank you, Jane. It's an honor for me to be here. And to all those new fashion designers, just give it a shot and enjoy the ride, because if this is something that you like, that you love, you need to enjoy it also, and enjoy the little things. Sometimes we're so focused on the goals that we don't enjoy small wins.
Yes. I notice a lot of people, I mean, I work with designers at lots of different stages, but a lot of people are starting a business after having been successful in another field and deciding, I've been doing this for 25 years and now I want to do this. Any special advice for someone who's older, like reinventing their career?
Don't think that because you're older, you know everything. Because I started with 17 years experience in my boutique and my as a fashion designer, but I knew nothing about selling PDF patterns. So I had to feel like you're the new one and be able to lower yourself and start from the bottom with this new adventure, because people might note you in your other field, or you might be very well known or respected, but here you're just someone else that's just starting out.
Yes.
And that's hard.
You touched on that, like you're a name, you are a name in Puerto Rico for what you do, but you were the new person with the PDF things. And you're just like, I'm just one more person selling PDFs for that business at first.
And try to look for multiple streams of income. Maybe you can sell retail and wholesale. And for me, I sell the patterns in my website. I sell them on Etsy. I sell them on Makerist. I sell them on the Fold line in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get some passive income from that. But also I have the courses and I have the membership site.
And would you choose one at first, or just be like, look, just juggle it all and try to get into all those different selling avenues?
You can start with one, but if you already have a product that you just need to upload it elsewhere, why won't you?
Okay. Yeah.
If it's the same product, it's just uploading it, because it's digital products. You don't have to go to the mail, to the post office.
It's so weird, right? After all those years of managing inventory, to all of a sudden be like, oh, I have inventory is not an issue on this business. It's like,
you're not going to run out of you're not going to run out of a PDF document.
No, freaking great. That's a huge bonus. Okay, so tell us, if people want to connect with you, they want to find your patterns, they want to make a purchase, they might want to join your membership, they might want to watch a tutorial, where should I send them to follow you?
You should go to Sirena Patterns in Instagram. They're in the link in the bio. You can find every other link, so you can purchase the patterns or watch our YouTube channel, or just learn from us.
And it's sirenapatterns.com as well?
Sirenapatterns.com and Sirena Patterns on Instagram.
All right, let's go. You guys, you have to connect with Tommie. She is one of the sweetest, kindest, smartest, most creative people you will ever meet. So enjoy. Thanks again for coming.